thing about this one, if you actually look inside the panel, you see that there are vertical lines in it. So it's like there's a pattern of lines going across. Maybe because it's the way the light's so strong, so it's like accentuating the panel gap, darkness in the panel gap. But there are these lines going down it as well. You've got the contrast of all this texture, so that kind of flattens it out, but with the light and the dark in it, it doesn't make it completely flat. It's like it's almost like an assemblage, because at different points people have nailed on these planks, obviously either to cover rotting wood or just to make it more substantial. But I mean, it's a beautiful object, isn't it? With all the nail holes which are in it, which sort of punctuate the surface, and the knots in the wood and the cracks. And again, you can't help but being drawn to the lines that you can see, particularly the vertical line, which is balanced by those older pieces of wood with the horizontal lines. So kind of you've got a crisscross pattern. Fantastic. I'm taking a picture of this door, partly because of the colour. This beautiful yellow ochre. Again, it's a metal door, so it's got like a panel-like feel to it because of that. But it's got this slash right across the middle where the bolt fixing's in, with the strong horizontal right down the middle. Again, the light is making that panel gap seem wider than it really is. And then it's degrading and decaying, and this is a very bluey grey underneath here, and there are pinks in this, and then there are little runs of where the paint or rust has appeared. And if you actually look along this edge here, particularly here, you see where, obviously because the panel is upright, then you've got this sort of paint drip. And over here, maybe that's something I should think about a little more in my work, is how I just allow drips to occur and work on you know, as I start something off or as I finish something off, than I do at the moment. I don't know. So with this, I think the thing which catches my eye here is like a transition of vertical, bands of vertical colour and shape going across here. You've got the yellow and orange of this lichen, which is on the pale grey background. Then there's a little line here at the edge of it, and then it's brown, and then it goes to grey again, it's patchy grey, and then here is like the copper colour of the downpipe, which at some point has been painted, so there's splashes, I mean just beautiful splashes of colour on that, and then the surviving orange underneath it. And then as you go across, there's actually a line in the render. For some reason someone's put a line in which brings an angle towards here, so the vertical and the horizontal meet there. This amazing texture, and then we go across to this white grey, beautiful yellow door, and the line actually the render or whoever's actually done the rendering here for some reason carries on, and then up again. So the whole face of this house is almost like an abstract painting, and it hasn't been done for artistic purposes, I suspect. But it just works. And in actual fact, I don't know whether you can see above, but there are blue shutters, so you've got a colour difference. Normally people paint the fronts of their houses the same colour, so it unifies, but this person's been bold enough to paint 2 different colours. It's lovely. And then here, it's like there's an oblong within an oblong. So it's like a panel on top of a panel, this little glass panel here, on top of the rectangle of the left-hand shutter, within a framed border like this, which again is another oblong. So it's like reducing down, but it's off-centre. So that will interest me, is how to use an oblong off-centre somehow on a painting, or make it work. Great, really great. It's amazing how you can come across something as rudimentary as a piece of tin which has been bashed, creased and moulded into obviously covering a window, and it's been manipulated to go behind this handrail, so it's like a perfect diagonal from corner to corner of what's almost a square. It might even be a square, no, it's probably an oblong actually. And then in this light, the crinkles are actually accentuating the vertical lines you can see in it, but they're obviously not perfect verticals because of the undulating nature of the surface of it. And then you step back and then you see this handrail to the right of it, and with the verticals there, it's like these vertical forms here are echoing the vertical forms in the panel on the back. So it's, I mean, I don't use a lot of diagonals in my work. Maybe I should a bit. But just walking around, it just gives you so many ideas, and it just makes you think a little bit about how you can superimpose lines on top of lines to create movement and effect. This door's been completely patched up, look. Patched up with bits of rusty tin, wood, even just bits of wood tied on. But there are some lovely oblong shapes in that. And just little bits of noble decay in there. It's really almost like an orange with a white and black mixed into it with this sort of reddy colour. It's really, really beautiful against this deep, deep, dark stained wood. It's had some red paint on it as well at some point.